Oh man, it is a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. So, man, if you go to my videos, I have been on point with PlayStation 5. Literally, you guys cannot deny it. I have been on point. I have broke down everything. I talked about how the image quality was the biggest thing playing a factor here. I talked about performance. I talked about everything for PlayStation 5 and how this system was going to, how it was going to basically, perform versus Series X. And as you guys clearly can see, even the weirdos who came at me in my videos, they was like, "Oh, Series X going to beat in every single category." Remember how I told you? PS5 is going to outperform Series X in different categories. PS5 is going to do things Series X can't do. And you're seeing this. And it's not a fanboy statement. This is just based on the design, the hardware design, of the PlayStation 5 versus Series X. Xbox Series X will beat PlayStation 5 when it comes to hitting, 4K max or hitting the 4K resolutions. Absolutely no issues there. Series X has a better GPU and CPU, so it can handle that type of stuff. And that's what that's what Phil Spencer and his team were focused on. Remember, they were all about the world's most powerful system. And now you're seeing, when it comes to that versus PS5, and overall design is playing a big factor here. Hence why you see, Phil Spencer talk about the tools. Yeah, I remember that. Tools has been a big thing going around for the Xbox camp. But again, it goes back again to what developers have access to. PlayStation 5 is the most straightforward, the most fine-tuned system Sony has ever dropped for a console. It's more fine-tuned. It is much more straightforward than the PlayStation 4. And when you combine that with SSDs, when you combine that with just how the system can load assets, et cetera, or stream assets, again, this is what you're going to get. Now, why exactly have I been talking about it in this particular fashion? Well, ever since the Unreal Engine demo, I immediately woke up and saw it. I was like, okay, this is what they're going for. Guys, you remember in the Unreal Engine demo, and I'll never forget this because you guys are still seeing it to this day. It's taking Digital Foundry to zoom in for you guys to tell the difference between 4K, 1800p, and 1440p. This right here, again, is what Sony is trying to blur the lines between you. Remember I said that? They're blurring the lines. It goes right back to this. I'm going to have those videos linked for you guys in the description below. But again, we're going to continue this, all right? But they're blurring the lines. They're blurring the lines, doing their own thing here, and this is what you're going to get. So when you go back to the Unreal Engine demo, again, the only thing that you pretty much can call out in that demo was the fact that it was 30 FPS. That's it. But everything else, presentation, visual, fidelity, all that stuff, it looked stunning. And this is what you're seeing with Ratchet & Clank. You're seeing this with Horizon Forbidden West. These games look breathtaking. And the crazy thing about it is, more than likely, again, depends on Sony, of course, but more than likely, Sony doesn't even have to push 4K for these games to look insanely well. Just like when you look at Resogun, not Resogun. I said Resogun. Look at Returnal. Returnal wasn't even 4K. And again, it took a deep analysis for you guys to tell the difference. But that's what Sony's going for. They're going for performance, but they're also giving you an insane presentation. And that right there, again, it goes back to a video that I dropped where I said DLSS was something that we could see in PS5 and next-gen consoles. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the day has finally arrived. And don't worry, I'll be showing you off the benchmark as well, but I'll also show off a little bit of a video here courtesy of Hardware Unbox. Hardware Unbox did a great video of breaking this down as well of what you can get out the system, okay? But again, just breaking this down again, like I said before. FSR is basically AMD's DLSS competitor. And you guys already know DLSS gives you a richer image while also boosting performance. This has been a big feature that a lot of people thought was going to be exclusive to NVIDIA. Even when we talked about this prior, dudes like, oh, this is not going to happen with AMD because, NVIDIA owns it. And I'm sitting there going, NVIDIA doesn't own anything. This right here, this feature, they're all going to have their own iterations of. That's just how technology works. Both sides are always known for this type of stuff. And AMD has been on top of their game. And looking at the performance gain that you'll get out of these games, the good thing behind this is the fact that PlayStation 5 and Series X don't really need pro systems. They don't need them with this particular feature. They don't need it. And why do I say they don't need a PS5 Pro or an Xbox Series, let's say E? Because you're getting we're getting what we're paying for. Developers are getting the performance that they require, and they're also getting they're getting an insane visual. And when you look at these like comparisons, you see how clear everything is. You really think a developer is not like drooling right now looking at this? Just imagine this with like Sony's first party, Microsoft's new first party. Imagine what you can get with games now being able to fully be pushed to their max. You fully being able to get the full resolution while also getting an insane performance boost to 60 FPS. Again, we were talking about 100, guys talking about 120 FPS. Guys, over there in the Xbox camp, those of you that really want the 120 FPS boost, this can lead to even more. PlayStation 5, 60 FPS locked, if not more. This can lead to it. It depends on the developer. This is the beauty behind this new particular feature. This, FidelityFX super resolution. This is really cool. And it opens up so many doors. And again, like I said before, when I first started talking about this, breaking this down, I have no reason to lie to you, man. This right here has been something I've been so looking forward to. And it's cool to see confirmation for this. It's cool to finally see it. Now that we have it, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, okay? It is definitely awesome. It's insane just to see, what we can get now that this feature is here. And hopefully this opens up your eyes to what more you can get down the road, whether it be the fighters, whether it be the the FPS games, whether it be the insane cinematic experiences that we know and love from PlayStation, such as the Uncharted or the Horizons. There are so many cool things you can get out of this feature. And to make my point even, even though I kind of already told you, but it's not exclusive to PS5. For those of you that are acting weird, that might be acting weird in the comment section, no, it's going to be on Xbox Series X as well. I want to throw that out there because you know how dudes like to act weird, but it's the internet. But anyway, this picture, which you're going to be able to get with both these systems, now that this is now a thing, and it will be added to both platforms. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Definitely sound off. I will definitely respond to you guys, whatever you guys have to say on this one. But I'm so excited. This is so cool to finally see it. It's going to be a good gen, man. This is going to be a good gen. You're getting 60 FPS and more, and you're getting insane visuals. Everybody wins. This is definitely a treat. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below as I pass this over to Hardware Unbox. Thank you guys for watching. You guys have a good one. I'm out of here. Deuces.
Next is the news of broad support. FSR is part of AMD's GPU Open program, and as such, it works on both AMD and NVIDIA GPUs. That's right, FSR is supported on not just AMD's new Radeon RX 6000 series GPUs, but everything in NVIDIA's stack, including GPUs that don't support DLSS, like the GeForce 10 series. AMD specifically lists support for RX Vega, RX 500, RX 5000 and RX 6000 series GPUs, and all AMD Ryzen APUs with Radeon graphics. They won't be providing technical support on GPUs from other vendors, but we do know that FSR will work on NVIDIA GPUs from at least Pascal and newer. AMD also gave us a teaser for performance in two situations. The first is Godfall running on an RX 6800 XT using epic settings and ray tracing at a 4K resolution. Without FSR, the game was running at 49 FPS. With FSR using the ultra quality mode, performance increased to 78 FPS, so that's a 59% increase. That margin jumped to 2x using the quality mode and exceeded 2x in both the balanced and performance modes. AMD hasn't shared what render resolutions each of these modes are running at, but the performance claims are impressive, and we can see there will be a range of FSR options to choose from. These performance uplifts are in line with or higher than what NVIDIA claims with DLSS 2.0 in the latest titles. But of course, this is just one game sample, and we have no idea how it was tested. The second performance teaser we got was actually on NVIDIA's GeForce GTX 1060 running Godfall again at 1440p epic settings. FSR running in the quality mode, so one step down from the highest mode, delivered a 41% higher frame rate and took the game above 30 FPS on average. AMD said they chose this demo because the GTX 1060 is the most popular GPU used today on Steam, and of course they want to boast about how FSR works on this GPU while DLSS does not. This performance uplift is lower than what we have seen previously at 4K using the 6800 XT, so that's something to explore in the future, as there is a chance that FSR will not perform the same on AMD GPUs as it does on NVIDIA. The big question mark out of our pre-briefing was on visual quality. We only saw 2 still images, no video comparisons, and certainly nothing in detail. This first image looks quite good, but I'm honestly not sure if each of these slices is actually a visual representation of the game running in each of the 4 modes. If it is, then that's promising, but I'm just not sure. The second image, there are clear differences between the left and right sides, and the FSR image on the right is obviously inferior, especially when you look at the differences between these 2 columns. The FSR image running at 1440p quality mode has less detail and is more blurry, so that's not as promising as the previous image. At the same time, there is still a ton of questions to be answered. This might have been shown as a video demo in the actual keynote presentation, so there might be a better look at it than what we got, but we were only shown this still image. It's also not running at the maximum quality mode, which for FSR is ultra quality, so this may not be a fair representation of the best that FSR has to offer visually. It's also not a great comparison as the left and right images are not the same, and there's quite a bit of motion blur going on, which may not be giving us the best look at the differences in detail. I guess the point is that we don't really have enough information to make any firm early opinions on image quality. I asked AMD a number of questions about this, and their answer to them all was basically that we'll have to try and use it for ourselves soon and assess the visual quality in depth. And of course, we should be able to do that around that June 22nd launch date. What we do know are 2 additional things. AMD are calling this a spatial upscaling technology. There is no mention of AI or temporal upscaling, although I would be surprised if there wasn't a temporal element that used information from multiple frames. No mention of better than native quality either, which most likely, just like with DLSS, would end up being a bit of marketing speak. We also know that FSR will work at many different resolutions, including at 1080p, so not just the 1440p and 4K shown here, it will work across a wide range of resolutions. The final thing to talk about is game support. Like DLSS, FSR requires per game integration. AMD is saying that 10 game studios and engines will integrate FSR in 2021 with an unspecified number of games. Obviously, Godfall is one, and we might see a games list as early as today on AMD's website. I heard more probably around June 22nd for the games list, but again, we weren't provided that one ahead of time. 10 games, so assuming at least 1 per studio or engine in the first 6 months of availability, would be a decent effort and better than what NVIDIA achieved with the first 6 months of DLSS. At the same time, AMD is starting miles behind NVIDIA, which has been able to grow DLSS 2.0 support substantially in the 18 months since it was first deployed. We'll have to see how this ecosystem develops, and certainly we're hoping AMD doesn't pull an NVIDIA and just announce a bunch of games to get FSR, which then never actually are updated with FSR support. Before we move on to other announcements, overall AMD's FSR appears to be pretty promising in several areas. AMD are touting large performance increases and broader support than DLSS, with the ability to run on both AMD and NVIDIA GPUs, probably as an attempt to kill off DLSS in favor of a more broadly supported upscale algorithm. There's still a lot to play out here, like image quality, that's really the key one, and of course game support as well, which hopefully we'll be able to dive further into when FSR launches on June 22nd.